It's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK. If this is your first visit to my channel, please do consider subscribing. It's in the bottom right hand corner, and if you ring the bell then you will get to have a notification when I put more videos up. This is a bag that I've made as part of my Not Just for Christmas series. Although having said that, and I just actually need to go and dash to get something. Nothing quite like forward planning. This is actually more of a Not Just for Halloween project. So this uses the really pretty Magic in the Night Designer Series paper. Let me show you the patterns. Now I have chopped into some of this already, because I don't think this is just for Halloween. So this is the pattern we're going to be using in a moment, and the reverse of that is this really not particularly Halloweeny. It's a black lace, but other than that, this is the pattern, the reverse of this gorgeous flower pattern. So again, not Halloween. This is the one that we're going to be using in a moment. Same pattern but in Cajun Craze. Oh, I should say the colours are Black Pretty Peacock, Blackberry Bliss and Cajun Craze on a white background. The reverse of this is these beautiful lace bats. Now I know bat and beautiful, but they are beautiful. But as I say, this is not really a Valentine's. No, it's not a Valentine's at all. This is not really shouting Halloween. This is a spider's web, but you wouldn't know it if you didn't know it, I mean. This has got spider's webs hidden in amongst the floral, but the reverse is a very usable sort of black stripe-ish sort of thing. This is definitely not Halloween. Lovely, pretty peacock. More flowers. Harlequin check. Spiders I accept. But all of the papers have one side, at least, that is not Halloween, which is one of the absolute perfect reasons why I love Stampin' Up! Products, because they take that into account. You're not necessarily going to want 20 million sheets of occasion paper. 20 million, a little bit of an exaggeration. 12 in that case. So, as I say, this is the project that I've made in advance, which uses the wonderful mesh ribbon. Now, if you're in the UK and you would like a sample of all of the paper, the ribbon, and what I'm calling the other papers, which are things like foil and glimmer paper, from the new August-December mini catalogue, I have a product share going at the moment. I will link below and from my website to the post that I've done about that. So if you are interested in that, please, that would be, just drop me an email and I can sort that out. If you are a demonstrator already and you're part of a team, therefore, do check whether your upline is doing a product share first, because they should really get, be doing, you should be using their product share rather than mine. But if you'd like one of my product shares, I would be very happy to let you have one. I've already got quite a long list of people to send them to, so a few more would be absolutely fine. So this just opens up. I'll never be able to tie the ribbon again, of course, like that, and it even folds flat. So I've used, for the embellishment, for want of a better word, the Celebration Tidings stamp set that is actually a bundle with the celebration labels. You get these amazing, they are huge labels. This one is just over 6 inches across, but they're stitched both in and outside the cut, which is amazing. There are little self patterns. This deals with a spider, as does this. So there's 2 of those, some hearts and some little bits of floral, or not necessarily floral, foliage really. But we've got this one, which is the one I've used for this. You may not have realised that it was Halloween, but we've got this spider's web in the middle. There's this, well, these are actually 2 separate stamps. So you've got the the foliage with the pumpkins, and then just without pumpkins, just some foliage. As I say, Spider, Merry Christmas, these lovely swirls. This is great for Valentine's. Always Grateful, Happy Haunting, Just for You, the heart, and this foliage here. And we're going to be using these 2 stamps for the project that I'm about to show you. Now, the one that I'm going to show you is A, not for Christmas or Halloween, but B, very much smaller than the one we've already got. So this is just a 1/4 sheet of that paper. I'm going to have this for the outside. I have pre-cut some of the labels. This is one of the smaller labels. Let me check which one it is. Can't remember. It's the second from smallest. It's slightly wider than I need it, but it's only slightly wider than I need it, so that's fine. And then I've also cut it's not actually quite a half label, it's close to half, which is how we're going to hide the ribbon when we put it all together. So let's start with the scoring. So I will grab my Simply Scored. So as I say, this is 6 by 6. What we are going to do, and I will be turning mine because I do like to make sure that things are even and I don't assume that this is exactly 6 inches. So we're going to end up with a piece that is 3 inches, but it's going to be the 3 inches in the middle. So what we're going to do is score at 1.5 and 1.5. So that's our main score. Then we're going to turn this, and I'm going to go for, I think, 1 inch depth. This is where you can decide how deep you want it. So I'm going to go for 1 inch. This is my middle. So I'm going to score at 2.5 and at 2.5. So this is exactly, oops, except I moved my paper. Oh, no, not until afterwards. So this is going to be our base, and the rest will just come together. So that's all the scoring we need to do. So remember, this is just paper, so don't go mad with your bone folder. This is one of the times where just pressing with your fingers is probably the safe option. To get this fold here, we're just going to line things up. So it's much easier to see, obviously, on the 12 by 12, ultimately 6 inch version. So we're going to take the score line that we've got here and meet up with this score line like this. So I'm going to take this score line and just manipulate my paper, trying to get that as crisp a corner as possible, line up those 2 folded pieces and just press. You want to give it quite a firm press, and then we're going to do the same on each of these corners. So we're taking the narrow fold line and folding it up, getting as sharp a corner as we can, and I have to say it's actually easier on a larger piece of paper because you've got more to hold on to, like that. And then this one goes in the opposite direction. Now I do actually find that one of these folds I find easier to manipulate than the other direction. This is the one I find easier. I do find the other diagonal is not as easy. So this one I have a real struggle with, because I guess because I'm right-handed, it's just easier for me to do the fold with my right hand than my left. And just press. And press again. So these are then going to fold in. We're going to adhere here, and then this will all just fold out. So this, we've got a really nice little cute box, bag, whatever you want to call it. So grab some adhesive. I'm going to go with liquid adhesive. This isn't going to be the easiest for you to see, but hopefully, actually, what I can do, let me draw it in. Let's take the big end. So we're going to add adhesive here, but in each corner. Now I go up to, but not too close to the edges. It doesn't matter if you go close to this fold, but you don't want to go too close to any of the others, otherwise you'll get glue squishing out. You can use Seal Plus. You probably get away with Seal. Tear and tape would be fine too. But you want a reasonably strong adhesive, given that this is going to be all that is really holding it together. I do like to do a bit of a squiggle in the middle. So just keep going round. As I say, it's not easy for me to see, so it won't be easy for you to see either. And a scribble. But as I say, you don't need it right up to the edge, particularly if you're using a liquid adhesive, because the glue will squish out a bit. Squish obviously is a technical word. So that's all of my adhesive. Then all I need to do is fold it in, grab my bone folder, whoops, and a piece of random card apparently. Now I'm going to push from the fold line out. So from this fold line, because I don't want the glue to come this way, I want it to go that way. And we've got glue coming out the top. Which is fine, I can get rid of that in a moment. So, as I say, it's the bit that we want sticking that you need to concentrate on. Just help that dry a bit. And then when we fold it up, there is our little box bag. Now, I quite like having the sides going in a bit. I'm not folding them in, I'm just persuading them to go in. Right, so that is that. We are going to then need our die cuts. And I'm going to bring back in my Simply Scored. You can do this on your trimmer as well. And all I'm going to do is line up my die cut so that it is square with these little dents. Can you see these dents here? You want those or over a score line, but square to itself. So this is now square, but I need a score line. That should do. So just, as I say, you can do this on your trimmer as well. It's probably easier on your trimmer. So that is going to be our lid, if you like. So this will fit over here. It is, as I say, it's bigger than I would really have liked, but it's fine. It's going to be just a different sort of bag. But we want to decorate it first, so I've got some stamps mounted up. I also have some post-it notes, because I don't want the stamping going over the top. I will be stamping on both sides, but I don't want it to go over from one side onto the other. I have embossing buddies, so I'm going to be using it. You just want an anti-static of some sort. You can use corn flour, you can use all sorts of things. Talcum powder, if there is such a thing still. Is there still talcum powder? Are we allowed that still? So let me just grab a scrap piece of paper just to protect my work surface a little. Used this before. Right, so this is going to come in over here. So I'm going to actually stamp this one first so that I can then fit that in around the remaining space. So just for you, I'm going to have into this over here, but this element. So that's that. Then this, which I've already inked up, I'm going to have coming and filling in the rest of that label, but going off over the top, which is why I needed the post-it notes. And then this time I'm going to use gold embossing powder, and I am actually just going to add some what's the word I'm looking for? Anti-static, that's the word, embossing buddy. where I had the post-it notes, because some of the stick may still be there. In fact, it is even now still there. So dry brush comes to the rescue. Just wipe away any embossing powder that is in the wrong place. And then I'm going to heat set this before I do the other side stamping, because what I don't want obviously is to stamp over embossing powder that has not yet been set. So pardon the noise. And I shall watch this, as I always do, amazed by the fact that this happens. It is just so beautiful when you've heated it. Heated it? Yes, heated it. So there we go. That's that side. Just make it dry, because it is molten for quite a while. So just worth remembering that, particularly as I want to now put post-it notes over the top again. And come back in with my embossing buddy, and this time I'm just going to use this stamp and blow off any massive excess, and I'm kind of coming in so that it's middle and covering as much of, or getting as much of the stamp onto the card as possible. Then I can remove that again. Come in with my embossing powder. Now, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to need to put some more gold embossing powder in here, just so that you've got some idea of how little you use. I started having this box about 4 years ago, just under, and I had 2 pots of embossing powder in there. I've still got quite a lot left. But only now am I at the point where I'm thinking I need to add some more embossing powder, and I do a lot of embossing. I do a lot of layered embossing, so adding embossing on top of embossing on top of embossing, which obviously uses more, but gets a really beautiful effect. You can even stamp into it if you layer it up. Something I will have to remember to do soon. So, just heat this up again. Now, just as a reminder, if you are doing areas of heat embossing, particularly with the gold, because it is a little susceptible to overheating, make sure that when I was doing this, I made sure that my heat tool was away from these, because otherwise we could have burnt the surface of the embossing we'd already done. So that's that. We now need our ribbon, and I'm going to use some of the Pretty Peacock in colour ribbon. It's a scalloped linen ribbon, which was in last year's catalogue, but it's also in this year's. Let's have a look and see if there's an obvious up and down. So I'm going to call this my front, because this seems more downwards. It's not, but you know. So this is going to be my front. So what I need to do is pop this on, trap the ribbon on the back, and then on the front I will be trapping it between the 2 bits of die cut. So let's just gauge roughly how much I'm going to need. Don't know if I'm going to tie a bow or just a knot this time, so let's find my scissors. I'll give enough for probably either and see how we got on. The reason I'm saying I don't know which yet is because this is quite a thick ribbon for quite a small project. So I find it easiest to do this flat. Let me bring in a ruler, because I want this to be in the middle. So I've got this at the 1.5 and the 5.5. 3 is the middle. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some seal and just add a little bit of seal there, so that I can add my ribbon and know that it's going to be kind of in the right place. So let's just get on. Let's just get this going again, get my eye in for where the middle is, and add, so this is the back, so I want less at the front than the back. Oops, I'm going to grab both ends. I'm being very cack-handed with this, I do apologise. So it's going to be about there that I want it. So, and I want it over the 3-inch mark, which is there. So that's pretty much central on itself. So this is going to go on the back. So this I'm going to add some liquid adhesive to. Again, you can use whichever adhesive you want, but I do like the wiggle room. And again, I'm going to flatten this out. Much easier to stick something that is flat onto something else that is flat. Of course, I've put the adhesive so it's too far over. I can sort that out later on. I have an adhesive remover. We used to sell them, we don't anymore, unfortunately. So that's that. Then this, again, I'm going to trap, but this time I'm going to trap it using my half label. And this time I can go right to the edge because I know that this is going to go right to the edge. So that was my husband. If you heard noises off, that was my husband coming back from he's in a music concert group and they've been practicing outdoors because they can't practice indoors, so they're socially distanced outdoors. Now there is a right side and a wrong side to the label, so I'm going to put this with the right side out, so it's just the prettier side. I mean, it's marginal but slightly prettier side. And again, I think I have over adhered, but it's fine, we can sort that out. So that's that. Then all we have to do, and we need to bear in mind that this is going to be a little bit tacky for a while, but it's fine. So all we have to do is tie this, and I think I will just do it in a knot because there is very little space left. And that's so that it's that way out. There's going to be a certain amount of twisting of ribbon going on here. There we go. And trim our ends. And there we have our not Halloween version. Now obviously once this is full of things, it's not going to dent in, it's going to be nice and pretty. So that's that one. And then if I bring back in my original Halloween version, let's see if I can do a knot or do a bow again. Chances are something between seldom and not at all, but we'll give it a go. I want to go that way. Done it the wrong way. Actually, no, I can do it this way and then just turn it round. Good grief. Brain, where have you gone? So do that and then turn this round and then it will work perfectly. It's just, for me, I find it easier to do it a certain way up. So you get the idea with that bow. Actually, it's not bad at all. And then you can just spread out the rest of the mesh. So there we are, my Halloween version and my not Halloween version. So I hope you found that fun. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. All the dimensions, the score lines will be on my website, which is linked below. You can do this in any square. So you could do 8 by 8, you could do 9 by 9, whatever you want. I think 6 by 6 is probably the smallest because anything smaller than this would be quite diddy. Basically, your width will end up as half of your original square size. So anyway, thank you very much indeed for joining. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're in the UK and would like any of the products, please, I would be thrilled if you would order from me. I've listed them below. Those that I can list before the new catalogue goes live on the 4th of August. If you want a product share, so you get a little bit of everything in the papers, other papers and ribbon varieties, please, I would be thrilled for you to reserve yours with me. Thank you very much indeed, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.